Is it live? Is it live? I don't know. I do not trust the YouTube. Regardless, hello and
Also,
welcome.
not sure.
Hello and welcome to the Level With Us live cast with me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as Mechanic, and with me is the ever amazing, ever wonderful project manager, Level 99 Games himself.
Josh, also known as Ithri. How's it going, everybody?
Hey everyone, I finally figured out why Josh is always so soft in all of our videos, and it's not the quality of his mic, it's the fact that there were some weird OBS settings. So, you know, chat, tell me if Josh is crisp and clear and loud.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that was an issue in the past streams. So
Yeah, it
hopefully
was,
that's good. So,
it was an issue, regardless. We are going to be doing a quarterly Q&A. We're just, mostly, it sounds very official, sounds very, worky, but what it really is, it's like, hey, the first 4 months of the year are done. So Josh and I are just going to answer some Q&As about some of our projects, about maybe future projects, maybe, just chill and hang out for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and, maybe you guys have some questions and you can answer those. Don't forget to share the stream with your friends. If you have any people who are interested in Level 99 games, especially after the PTO announcement, you'll see some PTO screenshots to my right, to my left. It doesn't really matter. I don't understand how these camera things work. So Josh, before we get into this, how are you?
okay, we're juggling a lot of proofs right now, so there's a lot of back and forth with press on like Sakura and some of the other projects we're working on. So it's a little tedious, but not too bad. We're getting through things.
All
So,
right. Chat, can you see us? My stream thing is saying that we are disconnected. So if chat can reaffirm me. Yeah, it seems like our chat is live. Okay, cool. I've mostly been okay. Not necessarily ideal because as anybody can see, my streaming setup is not perfect. Josh's camera, for once, is better than mine because I'm using the built-in laptop camera I have. It's kind of bad. But it's okay. I'll survive. I'm pretty excited for PTO. As you can see, some screenshots over here, over there. Yeah, there you go, over there. All right, so chat is saying that they can see us. Excellent. So we have some questions in chat already, Josh. Do you want to answer some?
yeah, sure.
Sweet.
Let's
Hey,
go for it.
I missed the Kickstarter for Bullet. When is retail release?
I believe that's May, June for the basic. For deluxe, I don't know if that's sold out everywhere.
I'm pretty sure it is. Like, Deluxe
Yeah,
is pretty much sold out. No worries, though.
base game should be hitting retail soon, but yeah, deluxe when Star comes out, when we do the pre for Star like in a few months, we'll be offering a deluxe bullet product.
Hmm.
So you can get like just the deluxe bullets if you missed out on that later this year.
Hey, that's awesome. So if they just wait for Star, cough cough. If you want to know more about Star, it's in a previous live stream. But if you want to know more about Star, we'll be doing some deluxe bullets then as well. 17 Maggot asks, any plans for getting a distributor in Europe? I believe this is just in general. Do we have any plans? I don't think so, as far as I know.
Not currently. We do it for Kickstarters, but I don't know that there's any plans for like our store in general, like our normal stock to be have some kind of distributor yet. I can talk to Brad about it though and see what we can do. We're aware that shipping costs are pretty high in some areas, and we'd like to do what we can to make those low. But we only have so much budget to do some things for each project, so we'll see.
Right. I think
We're always trying to get our shipping prices.
yeah, it's true. We try to do our best. I think one thing that a lot of people don't realize is Level 99 Games isn't as big as some people think we are. Right? Like, I
Not as
remember.
big as our Kickstarter numbers might make people assume.
Yeah. I remember talking to some people, and they were talking about like Games Workshop does it, and I'm like, yeah, but we're like 1/10 the size of Games Workshop, right? Like it's kind of crazy because like I believe one of the fans I was talking to got really shocked when they found out that Level 99 Games is basically just 6 dudes.
Yeah, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 dudes and some contractors, and That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. So yes, like if any of you are wondering like why certain things are the way they are, it's because we're nowhere near as big as some of these other companies that we may look like, but we are definitely not. And that's just me telling the truth, right? I saw a Reddit thread on the best board game of 2021, and a lot of people are saying that it's Bullet. Hey, Josh, as
Oh,
designer of
nice.
Bullet, how do you feel about that?
I'm glad people are enjoying the game we made to
Yeah,
some extent.
that's so good. I think the best reward has always been when people end up playing the game and enjoying it. Honestly, that's really it. You know, the look of someone's face. Like, I was watching a gameplay video by Mike from One Stop Co-op Shop, and he was playing like
Right.
boss mode as Rie against, oh gosh, I don't even remember, Phantom Dinning in the Night, Hell on Wheels. Um,
Hmm.
and there was this one thing where like he needed to like send one bullet to like break the final shield, but then he would fail the pattern or something.
Hmm.
So he needed like, he needed to get a specific bullet, like a blue one, so that he could fulfill the pattern and send the final one, because that also fulfills the last requirement on his last pattern, right?
Hmm.
And then like, he kept pulling, and then he took a damage, and then he pulled the last bullet, and it was the exact blue one he needed, and then he just
Wow.
cried. Like he went like,
That's rough.
yes, like yes. And then I was like, that's it. That's exactly why we make board games, right?
That's the feeling.
That moment when somebody gets that feeling or gets that experience, and you're like, yes. I think that's what it's all about. Tinker Totems asks, similar question: when can I expect Millennium Blades Collusion to hit retail? Never. That's your
Yeah,
answer.
that was essentially Kickstarter exclusive. We have mentioned that extra copies might to our online store, but I don't believe there are any extra copies.
You,
Actually,
oh,
between
really?
fulfillments and replacement, I don't that there's enough to go in store. But I can't say sure. I'm not our stocking team, so
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if we quite finished deliver everything yet.
Yeah, well, we'll
So
see. Well, we'll make an announcement if it ever goes
there
onto
might
the online
some hope
store.
there, but yeah, we'll announce. So I don't know, not if there's any copies left.
Right, yeah. But people can get the expansions and the master sets and the premium sets by buying the mini expansions, right? The mini packs.
Yeah. The mini expansion content will be available in retail
Right,
and whatnot, and in our online store.
right,
But currently, there's no plans to release Collusion in some sort of mass fashion.
right. Like, specifically, like, the big box, right? Like,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
impossible to reach anymore. Um,
Yeah, that's too big of a the whole Collusion project is a bit too big to like reprint and without a Kickstarter. Or,
mm.
maybe we'll do some portion of Collusion eventually, like just the cards or something, but we haven't really
I mean,
said
we
anything
have
officially
the
either way.
mini expansions available, or will become available at some point, right? So,
Yeah. I'm just talking about the cards in Collusion itself, right? Like
oh, like the characters, like,
Neo Rubber Ducky set and all. Like we might do some sort of like Collusion Light eventually, but no plans right
yeah,
now.
no plans right now. Let's see. Alex asks, will there be a pledge for Bullet Star that will make sense for people who back deluxe on Heart? I don't want a bunch of extra regular deluxe pieces, but want character deluxe pieces. I believe we already
So
answered
there's
this.
no sorry, go ahead.
We already answered this, right? The base game just comes with the deluxe character parts. So if a character has tokens, like Jane,
Yeah.
right? If a character has tokens like Jane, then the base game just comes with the wooden bits for them and
Right.
punchboard bits, right?
To clarify though, the basic like footprint like every cop part comes with punch sheet bullets and stuff, right? So if you have heart and you get star, it's still gonna come with the punch sheet bullets because every base game comes. So you'll have extra punch sheet bullets and stuff, but as far as like wooden bullets and things, you won't have extras.
Yeah,
So
you
you'll
don't.
get the new hair and Jane's wooden and punch sheet markers and
Right.
whatnot.
So you get your immobilizer, your coat, your suitcase. I'm sorry, your
Right.
badge. Your badge, not suitcase. You know,
Right.
and you can
But
dig
as
through.
far as production is concerned, like it's not the differences between making like a full version star and like star light without some of things is not enough to justify making two products. So we can't like make a reverse star without the bullets. If you already have the bullets or something, it's not really feasible for printing.
Right, right. And that's a lot of the like insider stuff that people don't get, because people will just be like, "Well, just take out the bullets." Like it's not that easy. It requires a different like product footprint, an entirely different product SKU, and like
Yeah, we'd have to when you print some, and you have to commit to like a minimum print, like at least 1,000, and we usually do like 3,000. So like, we don't know that we could necessarily sell, 3,000 copies of Starlight or whatever. So,
right.
there's a lot of considerations like going some that, but having extra punch bullets isn't really that big of a deal. You've got backups if in case you need them.
You can
So
use
that's
those
nice.
extra punch sheet bullets to play games of Bullet, like to play multiple games of Bullet now, right?
Yeah, yeah. When Star comes out, we're gonna add rules for to play up to 8 in free for all and teams, so you can use the extra set of punch sheet bullets to play up to 8 players.
Sure.
So there'll be a little bit of use for that.
All right. The Alpha PTO was a whole lot of fun. Are you able to talk about what changed from the original Alpha on mobile and the current version they are working on? Well, the original Alpha was like not exactly on mobile. It was on PC, and it had a mobile like enabled thing that was like infinitely more buggy than the PC version. Um, so what are the differences? There's not a lot of differences, I believe. Like the release PTO is gonna be it's gonna have like more polished stuff, the animations, less bugs. It's also gonna be like all 3 worlds of the campaign are gonna be finished. But if you're talking about like are there any new cards or new mechanics, like if you've played the alpha, that alpha was actually really close to being a complete product. So we have the same mechanics, we have the 3 AP, we have orbs. Most of the characters are basically the same. That game is pretty decently balanced as far as I'm concerned. So it should be fine. So is it very different? No. Is it slightly different? Yes. Is PTO available on mobile? Currently, the release of PTO will not go onto mobile. Maybe it's something that we'll do in the future. No guarantees. Matthew Gold asks, what's your favorite heroine design that didn't make it through testing or development? See, now this is a very interesting question, because the answer to that is actually which heroine design didn't make it into the game yet. Because any design that fails gets put into our locker room of designs, which we
Yeah, I
then
was gonna
pull.
say, let me open up my third base game document and see what I like the most.
Right.
That's potentially planned. Yeah, a lot of heroines that don't like. We definitely want to print eventually. Obviously sales have a lot to do with that, but
Yeah.
let's see, who do we have? What about you, Marco? While I'm looking,
Yeah.
surely you remember a couple
I'm
that didn't get in.
I'm thinking about it. There was the BattleCon heroine who like made pattern
Oh,
pairs.
you pair patterns of like requirements and clears. Yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
like that. There was also old QP who doesn't exist anymore,
Right.
who could stance switch between her boss mode and her heroine mode. That was the thing we wanted to do. There was another heroine whose boss mode was a heroine and whose heroine was a boss. Like,
Right.
so the gimmick is that like in free for all she would just eat everyone's bullets, so she would tank all the bullets instead of the bullet being sent to the person to your left. But then she would send bullets to everybody else, right? And then
Right.
her boss mode was that she literally just free for all you. So that was another one. I guess that kind of lives today in updated Yin with brainwashing or whatever the name of the UA is,
Right.
parasite insect or whatever. Um,
hmm
how about you, Josh?
Um, there's a couple really. There's one from Orange that didn't make it in, but I won't talk too much about that because there's always the possibility that that might happen in the future, and I don't want to talk too much about IP related heroines without any like confirmation.
Sure.
But as far as like Cycle 617 stuff, uh there it's kind of split between like flavor and mechanics, right? Like there's a heroine named Bridget who's like this storybook author, and
Okay.
she like draws a bunch of stuff, and she has a magic pen that can like make her drawings come to life, of course, because that's what Aura always does.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really figured mechanics yet, but I really like her design, and she does flavor. Is also there's like a hair tied to her that she has to come out first before that one comes out. So like I kind of want to get her out soonish.
Makes sense.
As far as mechanics, what do we have?
Shark Girl. Shark Girl.
Well, I was gonna say Shark Girl. Like, I mean, Shark Girl wasn't designed for an original set. Right? We designed her on the street. Like now she's available.
But now she's
I think they're
canon.
asking. Yeah, well, maybe she's canon once she's in print.
Yeah. Shark Girl's pretty
Yeah,
good.
Shark Girl's mechanics are pretty fun.
Yeah.
There's like a race car girl that has like a race car marker that like drives her board and clears stuff.
Right.
That one's kind of fun, untested, of course.
Of
but
course.
in theory, sounds fun.
There's a lot of heroine designs in Bullet. I believe we even talked a little bit about chess heroine, right? Who had like tokens that moved like chess pieces or Go pieces, and you would clear bullets by capping them a la Go or chess, right?
There's a blackjack heroine too. I've kind of seen with that has like a literal 52 card pattern that can like plays blackjack. So
you're kind of like Ling Ling. You're kind of like Ling Ling.
Kind of like Ling Ling, yeah.
Interesting. All right. Any news on Grand Chronicle or Adventures at Argent?
I could talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
Grand Chronicle, we're still proofing. Davey has just more or less finished graphic design project because this project is a beast of a project.
Especially
and
for
we are
graphic
currently proofing
design.
it in-house.
Especially for graphic design, right? Like.
Oh yeah. That's been the main bottle. So that we have one graphic designer. Like there's a lot of fancy graphic design in this book, as you might have seen from the cover that I believe we've shown off. So
yes, we have.
We're proofing it now. We're hoping to have it to press this month. Cross your fingers. So coming soon for that. Argents. We have a couple projects we need to finish first before we get to Argent. Things like Grand Chronicle, Bullet Star, another unannounced thing that I can't. But potentially another unannounced thing that I can't talk about. But once we finish those things, we'll get into Adventures at Argent proper. We still have a lot of development to do. Game, we have like 50 more classes to design, and we haven't even started graphic design. We pretty much just have like a logo and some art.
Right.
Noko's still working some bust arts for characters. We're hoping to be able to show off some this year. Whether or not that we're actually going to have a Kickstarter this year, that's a whole nother thing. I don't know about that. We'll see. But I think we should have some stuff to show off at some point later in the year.
Well, that's
it is coming.
Great.
I'm very, very excited to start developing that project. Actually, probably more excited than since like Bullet, even before Bullet. Honestly,
I mean,
it's a pretty cool project.
Talk about the deepest Josh lore, right? Like, didn't you say that a lot of the reason why you were excited to work for Level 99 Games is to work on RPGs and tabletop RPGs?
Yeah, that's actually the whole reason I started working for in the first place. I did beta testing for Mystic Empyrean, and then I applied to work there after I graduated college, and because I thought I wrongfully at the time thought that the company did more RPG stuff, and I found out that it's mostly board games, so I got into board games more. But now we're finally doing an RPG again, so I get to do fun things like design classes and like make up finals tests to test with other staff, like running a real final and stuff. So it should be really fun. I'm very excited.
So Matthew Gold asks, I won't mention the game that shall not be named, but is Level 99 more or less on track for the schedule announced at the start of the year? So depends on what you mean by on track, right?
Oh, you're right.
Because the thing
go ahead.
Here's the thing, right? There is a significant difference between we estimated wrong and now we can't deliver on time, and there's a cool new thing we want to do, so we're shifting priorities, right? And that's kind of the thing here. So I'm not going to say, we won't see the game that shall not be named by this year, or that we will. Because, again, I'm not exactly sure, because our timelines change as needs change. But my answer is going to be that that game will come out when it is ready. And, it was our mistake for ever announcing it as publicly as we did. and stating that there would be a date, right? We should have just said, hey, here's the thing we're doing, no date.
Yeah, kind of like with Espa, right? We showed off art and said like, "Hey, we're doing this eventually," which we still are eventually.
Right.
Um,
Because we could keep on track for for the game shall not. Okay, for people who don't get the joke, they're talking about Seventh Cross, right?
Cross. Yeah. Seventh Cross.
So here's the thing, right? Like, if we just kept going with Seventh Cross and trying to release Seventh Cross and just pumping everything into Seventh Cross and releasing it before it's ready, then it just won't come out the game that we want it to be. But also on the converse side, if we just stuck to the schedules, but then Riot Games decided to go like, hey, Level 99 Games, make League of Legends the board game. We won't say no to that just to release Seventh Cross on time, right? Like, not to say that we have.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing that we can't talk about is like we have our hands in a lot of cookie jars speak, and sometimes the cookies are there, and sometimes we're waiting for things to happen. And so when we project schedules at the beginning of the year, they obviously don't include like IP projects that we're still waiting to hear back stuff. And if things like that happen, we kind of have to shift our schedule around to right? Usually when we do IP projects, we have to sign contracts that involve time and stuff. And to keep timelines, sometimes we have to post projects, Also, Mark saying, our schedule at the beginning of the year is an estimate, right? Things always happen, press takes long, we think, production takes long, we think, proofing takes long, we think, and dates get adjusted, kind of like video games, right?
Yeah.
Usually when they announce a date, it doesn't come out then. But
Yeah.
we're trying to get better about estimates and time stuff. So as far as like will Seventh Cross this year, it's really a big maybe. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a couple projects that we're kind of waiting on that I can't talk about that depend on what happens with those, like Seventh Cross may get pushed. If those things don't happen, then we'll probably get to Seventh Cross this year at some point.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's so up and like we are definitely like we have not abandoned the project though. Like if we did, we would announce that publicly.
Yeah. If we abandoned the
we
project,
definitely still do it. There's some more development that we want to hit up again. We want to go back to it and make sure things ship shape since it's been like literal years since we've kind of touched the game.
And
we kind of got it to pretty good state and then stopped because of other priorities like.
And that's the thing, right? Like, let me peel back the veneer a little bit, right? Let me expose a little bit about Seventh Cross. But, like, people think, it's like, oh, you announced this, like, 2 years ago. It's a done game, right? And, like, I'm just like, it's not. It's just not. Like,
It's kind of done. We have a lot of art. We have a lot of design stuff. But, like, there's a lot of,
oh, man.
not finished things.
So let me just tell you something that happened, right? I recently played Seventh Cross, maybe like last month or something, right?
Right.
And everybody in the office is like, yeah, it's a done game, or it's like it's fine. And I played it, and then after the first 10 minutes of me playing in the tutorial mission, I found a game bug that broke the game.
Yeah.
So like. Is it done? No, it needs a little bit more time in the oven to cook.
Yeah, when will we get that time with the oven? We'll have to see.
Yeah, because the oven is currently very preoccupied with a lot of pies right now. Pies that we can't talk about.
It was kind of like we made the Seventh Cross pie, and then we, preheated the oven for 2 years, and then went, oh, now it's time to put Seventh Cross in the oven, and then Soccer Arms and Bullet and all these things were like, we're also pies that
that need to be
have
released.
Expiration dates and need to be cooked right now.
And that's the thing about Seventh Cross, right? Because it's not exactly tied to like a contract or anything. We can
it's not on a schedule really. Like it's not on a time for like another shareholder or something. Right. So we can take as long as we need. Right? Again, like Marco said, we probably shouldn't have talked it up as much as we have in the past. Consider we didn't really know. I guess at the time we were ready. At the time we were pretty far in development. We had a lot of done, and then just a bunch of things happened, right? We needed to do the battle starter, we needed to do Collusion, and we got Soccer Arms, which we didn't expect to get at first. Bullet happens to be done with development, after that. So, we have this actual finished game. So we'll print it. We got these Exceed seasons, like Blaze and stuff that worked out. So, it's a lot of shifting,
Oh yeah, I mean, at the end.
But anyway, we've talked about that quite a bit. Do we have any other
yeah
questions?
Any updates and
Super,
support for
super.
official Slammy official tabletop mods? Some games could use some more love. I mean, most of the games are already on Tabletop Simulator, and you can play their base games and some of the expansions as well. Um, that's mostly it, right? Like, we
Yeah, some of them might not be complete today. Like Imperial and Millennium Blades might not have everything, but a lot of that is having time to update mods. Sometimes marketing, our marketing team might not want us to update the entire mod. Part of the incentive is to check out the game, and if you're interested, you could buy
right.
expansions and stuff.
A
So
large reason for that, here's the thing: the reason those things are up on Tabletop Sim is so that you can try the game, right? Wholesale, just try the game, no
right,
strings
yeah.
attached, right? I believe that we have been generous enough in just putting those games up there for free for everyone to play. And if the expansions aren't 100% complete, Collusion doesn't have, this one set from BGG or whatever, right? I think it's okay. Like, if we get more dev time and we feel like it's a good use of our time or a good use of our resources to put the things up, sure. But the primary role of a lot of these modules is to let people try the games out, and they fulfill that role already. Okay. Was deliberately not trying to pin you guys on any timelines. I mean, it's okay. Like, I get you. But there are a lot of people who do. And we wanted to just preempt that entire discussion already because, it's a horse that's been beaten to death. Any plans for version 4 releases of BattleCon War or BattleCon Fate?
Nope. We will do it eventually.
Yeah, but there are no
we're-
plans
we're-
right now.
We're on battle cooldown right now from Unleashed. So,
Yeah.
it's something that Brad wants to do eventually. He's talked to me about it every once in a while, but we got a lot of other things on our plate to get first. Also, we don't want to shove too much BattleCon stuff out the door at once, right? Unleashed and a bunch of reprints and stuff are out right now. So, we'll probably get to War and Fate, probably. I don't want to say time, but probably not for another year or two.
Yeah,
at
it's gonna be a while.
But it is in the back of our minds. We do want to do it.
Yep.
Eventually.
All right. Okay, so I think we're almost nearing the 30-minute mark. So here's the.
We can do a full hour if people got questions.
I mean, if people keep asking us questions, we'll keep doing it. But if you have any questions, I highly recommend that you start asking them now. And it doesn't have to be production related or a future project related. It could just be anything you want to know about me. I've been on this live stream for like 3 years at this point, but Josh is a recently new addition, so maybe you want to ask Josh some questions. Not too personal, please. Don't ask Josh what his favorite pinky toe is, because that's just weird.
I'll answer what I'm allowed to answer on the street. But
yeah. But don't ask Josh like invasive.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be work related. It could be anything.
Yeah, don't ask Josh invasive personal questions though. So yeah. Well, while we're talking about that, I've been really, really into. So I just finished Yakuza Like a Dragon, Josh. I just finished it.
I really need to get around to playing that.
Took me like 60 hours to finish, so was pretty good. Probably my favorite JRPG of all time now. Like,
oh wow,
like it beats my Final Fantasy 3. Like it beats my Bravely Default.
Praise.
Yeah. It's that good. And I didn't even do any of the side missions and stuff, right? Like I didn't spend too much time collecting cans.
Oh, that's just straight through the game, huh?
Oh, that's just straight through the game. Except maybe for that one mini game that I really liked. But there's a ton of, let me just elucidate that upon you. When you press start, it opens the menu, right? And usually the menu would contain like a shortcut to all of the important stuff for your playthrough, right? Like, here's your party, here's your gear, and maybe some mini games have their own menu to show you some stuff for that mini game, right? So those are the major mini games. One of the major mini games has a option in that menu, which dictates that it's some major mini game that takes up a large portion of the game, right?
Right.
I never played that mini game. Like, I went through the entire game. That thing in the menu stayed locked until the very end.
Wow.
So, 60 hours with basically breezing through the entire thing. I even exploited grinding exploits to not grind as much. So like, might be a game that I revisit and replay to just have different builds or play with the different characters, because there's like a lot of playable characters. So
Right.
right. Chat's asking, are there any noticeable differences in PTO from playing it in person, or is it a direct translation? No, it is not a direct translation. PTO is optimized for more online video game feel. Physical PT is very slow, especially for a video game setting. Like a physical PT game can take you 25 to 30 minutes, and you do not want an online video game that is a 1v1 card battler to take you 25 to 30 minutes to play, especially against another person. So, PTO has more action economy. So, you have 3 AP per turn instead of just 2. So, that's 50% more actions you get to take every single turn. The game accelerates super fast because of this. So, that's one big difference. The cards are very different as well. Certain cards have effects that would make no sense in a physical game. So, like for example, Doppelganger or Sagas in the physical game can pretend to be a copy of another card, right? In PTO, that card literally just creates duplicates of cards on your field and adds them to your hand. So you can have like strategies that involve duping the same card over and over again until you have an entire hand filled with, I don't know, Eligors or something. That's a thing you can do in PTO that definitely the physical version does not do. So there's a lot of big differences, but it's still the game that you enjoy if you enjoy PT. Hey Josh, lore leaks or teasers from Grand Chronicle when?
I actually don't know how much has been posted. Grand Chronicle.
Not a lot. Not a
Not a
lot.
lot.
Not a lot.
It's the kind of thing that like it's hard to leak something without like show entire chapter, and Grand Chronicle goes over like the events of every in this game until from like dev to Imperial.
Right.
So
How about this?
I guess we could show some cute sidebars or something.
How about this? What's your favorite like section in the Grand Chronicle? Because the Grand Chronicle has a lot of like mini sections and sidebars. Like
yeah, the Argent section's pretty fun. You get to see a lot of the like plot happening that you don't really see playing the game.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
Oh man.
But I kind of just like the whole thing. It's a lot of there's a lot of disjointed lore between like character stuff, and this really just gives you here's what and during Devastation, here's every happened during war and fate and trials and all this stuff. So it's nice to just kind of see it come together, like this history book like thing.
I mean, it's called a chronicle, right? Like it's literally that. Like it's not just a lore bible of like, here's Eligor and here's how tall he is and here's his favorite food, right? Like it's not like that at all. It's like literally like somebody clipped a bunch of newspapers and history books together from the in-setting world of Indians and then collated them into a book. My favorite sidebar is the sidebar talking about the 7 gods of Indians. And see, what I didn't even know is that each of the gods is actually, associated with a number. Like, each of the 7 gods has a number. So, like, there's Sanghalia the first. Why? Because she's the first of the gods. Or, there's Macterix the fifth. Because, because of the 5 parts of Macterix that created the first golem. Like, there's stuff like that in the lore that's like... That makes you go like, whoa. Any new game releases, video or tabletop, that have been catching your eye? Not necessarily level 99 games. How about you, Josh?
Video is, were they asking just board games or video?
Both. It doesn't matter. Which?
Board games, can't think of too right. Oh, but video games, there's a lot I just got new Pokemon Snap. Resident Evil 8 is out.
Sorry, you mean
Neo
Village?
Twowie is coming out soon.
You mean Village?
Yeah, Village.
Okay.
Yeah, Village. The 8 in the logo.
Yes.
Yeah, Neo World Ends With You is coming soon. There's a lot of video games this year.
Oh, right. Neo Twowie.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Board games, there's probably some things coming out, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Remember, everyone, for people who don't know, Josh literally spends at least a few hours every day playing board games. So, and most of the time
my
those are...
My housemate, the old developers on BCO, buys literally every board game in
Yeah, so
existence. So
there's nothing
I
really
replay
left for
them
you to
quite a
look
bit.
forward to, right? Because you just end up playing every new release when it comes out.
I mean, there's some game series I follow that I know have stuff coming. Actually, like Sagrada has that third expansion in that series coming out eventually. Yeah, that'll be fun. Steampunk Rally just came with Fusion. That Kickstarter was delivered. That was pretty exciting.
That's fair.
Mm.
Me, any new releases I've been interested in, I've been really interested in Biomutant, which is coming out like on May 26th my time, so maybe May 25th your time. It's a 3D character action game, so think Devil May Cry, with like some smatterings of like, it's called Biomutant, right? So like the core gameplay mechanic, as far as I know, is that you get to mutate parts of yourself, and that gives you different like powers. So it might have a lot of like Prototype vibes, and I loved Prototype. So I'm really excited for Biomutant. You also get to play as a, mutated red panda, I believe. So you're like a little Rocket Raccoon-esque dude with a giant cloud buster sword going around like a post-apocalyptic waste hell and killing things. So that's one I'm interested in. There's another one I'm interested in called the Despots game, which is, how do I put this? It's a roguelike. Josh, it's a roguelike.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! So it's a roguelike, and the main mechanic is that it's an auto-battling roguelike. Oh.
Interesting.
So it's like, Dota Auto Chess or TFT or Hearthstone Battlegrounds, but as a roguelike, and it's PvE. So, it's a really interesting concept. All right.
That does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, there's a free demo available for it on Steam right now. So if you want to try it out, you can. Would you ever want to do an Exceed app just using the 7th Cross characters? What's the point? No, seriously, what's the point? The point of Exceed is the crossovers. So why make an entire app just for the 7th Cross characters? Like, that defeats the purpose of Exceed, right? Like, in my opinion, right? Like, that's equivalent to asking, hey, let's make a BattleCon app, but don't use any of the Indians characters. Like, it just defeats the purpose of the game, in my opinion. What do you think, Josh?
A 7th Cross, board?
No.
Taking Exceed.
No, they just want, hey, make BattleCon online, but it's Exceed. But because you can't use any of the IPs, only put the 7th Cross characters.
Oh, yeah, that would mean, we could only do, just 7th Cross. Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
That's that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think it'd be worth the time and energy to do it for just that. Maybe we had, like, Bullet Exceed or other in-house IPs, Esper Cross Exceed or something.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I still feel
But
like
even then, in the time it took us to do that, we could just make it work, right? I guess potentially we might partner with some sort of digital company in the future that's used to doing video releases, but until then, I don't think there's going to be too much digital content.
Right. I mean,
in
also
the foreseeable future.
Also, I think it just defeats the purpose of the game, right? Like imagine Smash, but without half the characters. Like, what's the point?
Right.
Or like imagine Smash, but everybody has to be from Mario. Like, defeats the purpose. Millennium Blades, favorite sets you always include.
Rubber Ducky Maid Crusaders.
Rubber Ducky Maid Crusaders is pretty
I can
good.
just buy all of them and just play set amongst itself.
That's fair. It is an internally synergistic set. What's my favorite set? I always love Sunset Striders because they highly incentivize interaction. And I love interaction in Millennium Blades. And a lot of people play score decks too much. So Sunset Striders lets you come in there and bop some people for playing too many score decks. So that's cool. I just want confirmation that Rexan did nothing wrong. Here's the thing. Rexan did do something wrong, but so did Alexian, so did Magdalena, so did Kalistar. Like, nobody in the setting is wholly good, but nobody in the setting is actually just pure evil either. So, take that with a grain of salt. What is Eligor's favorite food, though? No idea. Knowing that guy, probably whey protein shakes. Biomutant has that red wall vibe, which really hits home with me. Yes, exactly. I really love that, like, small animals in a like fantasy-esque setting thing. Like I really love Mice and Mystics from Plaid Hat Games simply because of the setting of the entire game. Like the mechanics, but like the setting is just so adorable. I love it. I played Argent for
There definitely needs to be more games like, Red or Deptford Mice or...
Josh, we need to make a Warrior Cats board game.
That's like the one animal young adult fiction series I'm not familiar with. There's too many Warriors books.
Okay, everybody, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Warrior Cat series is literally just a bunch of actual real-world cats who have a Game of Thrones-esque political drama between them, but it's still set in our world and there's not exactly magic. So it's just a bunch of cats trying to depose each other from power, but also like the milkman just passes by nonchalantly or whatever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's as far as I understand what that entire book series is about. I played Argent for the first time with my friends the other day and loved it. Is Argent a series complete? Or will there be more expansions and stuff for it? Josh?
We have talked vaguely in back out is secret about potentially doing another art expansion. We haven't quite decided on the scope of that project, whether it would be close like Mask as a mini expansion or more like Mancers. So nothing we definitely want to do something else with Argent, like the board, not the role-playing game.
Right.
But we don't know what form it's gonna take yet. There's also been talks about doing like a fancy version of Argent with like metal coins and stuff like that, and maybe a storage box type thing. I don't know. We've talked about a lot of things, but we haven't really settled yet. I think we're looking towards another Mancers like expansion.
Oh.
But again, we haven't really set in motion yet. We're just kind of talking about things back and forth.
Right.
Trey is currently working on another game that's not an Argent expansion.
Oh,
so
spoilers.
Once he finishes that, we'll probably talk about that. I think we mentioned the Imperial stream,
right? No, we mentioned in passing that, we were planning, somebody was like, make a Dudes on a Map game. And then Brad was like,
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Trey's working something else that's not Argent right now. That's not the role game or the board game.
But it was mentioned
within we'll see.
It was mentioned within the context of us talking about a Dudes in a Map game, but not necessarily us saying that it is a Dudes in a Map game.
Right.
All right. Just to get around licensing. I get that, but you could just play it on Tabletop Sim, right? If you want to just play it online and play it on Tabletop Sim. Samurai Pizza Cats instead. Samurai Pizza Cats.
Oh man, that I actually have the box set.
Why do you have the DVD? So this is the thing about Josh that I've come to learn is that Josh has a lot of box set DVDs for cartoons and anime. You have a box set for Samurai Pizza Cats? That's like so niche.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to get around yet.
Oh my God.
I watched it when I was a kid, back in like school. But yeah, that would be fun. We could probably get a 4-character box out of that. I know anime for Exceed isn't something really done too much of. We've talked about it occasionally, but we haven't really. We're trying the fighting game stuff first. Then we might venture into anime.
I mean, look,
like cartoons or whatnot, like Ruby or Wakfu or whatever.
If My Hero came up to us right now and said, "Here's the IP," I mean, we would just do it, right?
Maybe it depends on the localization, and as we learn, Sakura Arms, and with Blaze, but working with IP holders can be quite the process, right?
Yeah.
A lot back and forth and stuff. So we would probably want to talk to the My Hero guys and see what their terms are, what constraints we be working under, and then kind of decide whether or not we would want to do something. That obviously it would be super cool, right? My Hero's great,
right?
But
except we won't put Deku in it.
Stowe is making a project in a timely manner.
Yes.
So.
But also we won't put Deku in it, so Deku can go in the garbage can where he belongs.
I mean, yeah, there's plenty of other characters that aren't Deku that can go in the game.
Right, I'm just saying.
That would be a mandate thing, right? Definitely be like, you have to put Deku in.
But
Suyu in.
Deku is like the least interesting character in the entire cast. I already have an idea for All Might, right? Obviously, All Might starts Exceeded, and then he de-exceeds over time, right?
Sure. Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah.
Duh, duh.
He
That's
has like
a
a he has like a season 5-esque like timer or something, right?
right. Or maybe when
He starts with a
he,
bunch of gauge and it depletes or something.
or maybe when like maybe at the end of each turn he just mills his deck, right? And then when his first reshuffle runs out, he goes into his like thin mode, right?
Mm.
So something like that. I know you might not be able to announce definitively yet, but is Level 99 Games considering having a presence at any US conventions if they happen this year? I believe we've cut back on conventions quite a bit, but that's mostly
Yeah.
because of
As
certain.
far as I know, we have no conventions this year, partially due to COVID issues and partially due to just our budget being stretched with projects right now.
Right.
Maybe in 2022, when things clear up a bit, we'll think about it. But yeah, as far where our convention circuit is a lot tighter than it used to be, so
Yeah.
no plans for right now. But
Sure.
who knows what the future holds?
It was mentioned that it was Indians related, yes. Millennium Argent
Yes.
Conperial, the ultimate level 99 game. Actually, there was an in-office joke that the final board game we would release is some weird Voltron, wherein it just says, hey, to play this game, you need every other level 99 game. And it creates this weird legacy game that like
Oh,
mishmashes
that's interesting.
all of our existing games together, right? Like
Right.
imagine the resolution system, something along the lines of like imagine an RPG where like oh, I go and like try to investigate the murder, and it's like, okay, to resolve this, play a game of Noir.
Play a game of Noir, but make sure your UA from BattleCons is
Yeah,
active or whatever.
or whatever, right? Like
I think the closest we're getting to that is the Millennium Blades RPG, right? There's a mechanic that lets you like use cards from other card games or something.
yeah, it lets you import. So I
Yeah,
believe
it
it's
is, like,
called
the
the
coolest thing
Trump,
ever.
the Trump card, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like you can just assign a card to be your trump card, then it doesn't have to be a Millennium Blades card at all. So like you could be a credit card, it could be a calling card, it could be a
Yeah, and the GM just decides how it resolves or works with what it does.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. I love that. I'm not a big anime fan, but Skate the Infinity looks cool. I have no
I
idea.
still haven't seen Skate the Infinity.
Is this
I've heard
like
it's
Air
okay.
Gear? Like
It's like Air Gear, but with skateboards, I think.
okay, but do they have superpowers like an Air Gear?
I don't know. I'm not too familiar. I just know it's called Skate the Infinity, and it's about
Because
skateboards.
you gotta understand, if it's just a sports anime about skating, I sleep. But if they skateboard so good that they summon a dragon, I wake.
I don't know. I watched an anime about parkour last year that was where they did powers. It was just serious parkour, and I was pretty impressed with how good it was.
I mean,
I forget what it
yeah.
was called.
I
There's
mean,
probably only like one parkour out there, so it's that one.
I guess my point is that I've read and watched a lot of these non-superpowered sports animes too, right? Like,
Oh, okay. You're probably just more saturated than I.
yeah,
That kind of stuff.
like
Yeah.
I read Giant Killing. Giant Killing's really good though, so if you like it, you could do it. Giant Killing's concept is there's this guy who picks up a team, like the lowest ranked team in the league in football. Soccer for Americans,
Right.
right? And it's called Giant Killing because he immediately goes, all right, well, our goal is to now just defeat every top team in the circuit. And so that's it, Giant Killing, right?
Interesting.
No superpowers. I've seen it. It's good. It's normal skateboards. They do skateboard into an alternate consciousness for a bit. So like the zone or something?
Okay.
I don't know. How is this
That's
any
just an
better than
abstraction of focusing.
How is this any better than Kuroko no Basket, right? Like
I mean, you've seen more Kuroko no Basket than I have, but
yeah,
yeah.
dude, like when Kisei unlocks the true mimic copy, it's like so good. Haikyuu Kuroko no Basket mashup exceeds season 1. I see. Here's my point. Why exceed? Just make an actual shonen anime sports game. There's not enough of those.
I think that if we started getting into shonen sports and for products, we would just make a shonen anime sports game that can template onto these different sports. I guess that's pretty hard. Yeah, I think that if we got like Haikyuu or like Ashita no Joe or Ippo or whatever, or we'd probably just want to make a game like that specifically.
To be fair, Ashita no Joe doesn't have superpowers, so
No, yeah, he is power. Super sports animes are just normal sports animes. That's right. We'd probably just want to make our own game for it.
yeah, that's fair. It's more real than Kuroko no Basket. Think Initial D, but skateboards. Initial D is pretty off the wall, though.
Initial D, but skateboard sounds fine.
Yeah.
Is that the soundtrack is really good?
Yeah, do I have enough Euro beats in it? Not exactly Euro beats, but you know what I mean. Gosh, is there anything else we need to talk about? I mean, we could talk a little.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, do we have any more questions? Because, we're nearing the 1 hour mark, so we have 10 more minutes before the 1 hour mark, and then Josh and I are going to go skedaddle. Speaking of sports, does Space Jam 2 have any potential to be good? Do you think it will be good?
I think the concept is good enough to where most universes that have Space Jam 2 would be acceptable, I think.
So the timeline.
I've heard a lot of controversy over for like characters being in and out and designs and stuff change, but I think just the concept of sports ball man deals with cartoons in sports ball cartoon world is a pretty entertaining.
Just call it what it is, man. It's a basketball isekai, okay? Just call it what it is.
Basketball isekai, sure.
Yeah.
I think most versions of a basketball isekai movie are going to be pretty entertaining.
Yes, I think Space Jam 2 will have space to be good. I don't think it'll be as good as Space Jam 1.
I don't think it'll be better.
I think
I think it can be pretty good.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that they know that Space Jam is a meme, right? So when somebody becomes self-aware of the meme,
that's the worry, right? How meme gonna go with it?
It's not as funny anymore because it doesn't feel genuine anymore, right?
They put Big Chungus in that Looney Tunes mobile.
They did.
So are they gonna? Yeah.
They did, but Big Chungus.
That makes me worry about Space Jam a little bit.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Space Jam. I recently listened to something Space Jam related. Oh, let me talk a little bit about my personal life. I've also linked this to Josh. It's called Slamilton, a basketball musical where they took the entire OST of Hamilton and remixed it with the entire OST of Space Jam to tell the story of Space Jam through the lens of Hamilton. So that's a thing. That's fun. I also binge watched Invincible, and it was really good. Invincible is good.
I've been hearing good things.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't want to be hipster, but I read Invincible back when it was still a comic. And it's pretty good. It's very mature, not safe for work, not for kids. But it's pretty interesting. It takes a page out of that. So you know The Boys? Do you know The Boys?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so
familiar with it.
The Boys is like the polar opposite of modern superhero comics, right? Where The Boys is literally just all the superheroes are trash, garbage, horrible people, and we need to destroy or kill them or something, right? Invincible kind of finds like a happy medium between regular comics and The Boys, wherein it's like the people who you think are heroes are not the heroes, and but there are still characters who are genuinely like good or whatever. So like it's kind of like a grim, dark, modern Batman. Like it's very modern Batman-esque.
Sure.
So yeah, it's pretty good. It also spawned a good meme. Think, Josh. Think.
Oh yeah, that's been all over the place lately.
Yeah, that's where that's from. Gosh, now I'm thinking about like shows that I'm really excited for. I'm really excited for Zombieland Saga Season 2 to finish, so I can finish watching it.
I still need to watch Dragon Maid Season 2.
Dragon Maid Season 2 is also pretty interesting. Are there any other anime that I'm really excited for?
The Madoka 4th movie got announced.
Oh, Record of Ragnarok! Coming out on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is the Magic the Gathering anime out this year?
I don't know. But if it's going to be anything like the Dota 2 anime, then I think it's going to be A-okay, right?
Mm.
Anything else? What are you doing this weekend, Josh? Well, let's talk a little bit more about ourselves while
This
we're waiting.
weekend?
Yeah, what are your weekend plans? I mean, obviously you're not going out, but
Nothing too fancy. Yeah, just trying not to work. Probably. I think I'm gonna try to finish Pokemon Snap, so I can either watch somebody play Resident Village or buy Resident Village myself and play it. I haven't decided.
play Yakuza like a dragon. How about that?
Yeah, I could play Yakuza. I have owned it since it came out. I just need to get around
so
to
good. It's so good. It's a good game. Like every
Brad
party.
keeps wanting me to play Atelier games too. I have like all
I mean,
of the Verona
all of
series
the
that have just been
entirety of
sitting at-
Verona.
Yeah, I've got the first 3 on PlayStation 3. Got the 4th one on Steam. I just had them. I haven't gotten around to playing them. I need to dig out my PS3 from storage, and I don't know. Yeah, I should get back into RPGs. I used to like real RPGs. I would play like Legends of Dragoon every year. I would
Right.
play like all kinds of RPGs when they came out. But lately, I've been more into like quick, pick up and put games like Valhalla and Luck Be a Landlord and stuff.
Right. Well,
But I should really get back in touch with my RPG side, I guess.
okay. I think I'm gonna end it because people aren't really asking more questions. So if you have any more questions, put them in the comment section down below.
Get them in now.
Yeah.
Last chance for questions.
No. Just put them in the comment section. Like I'm just gonna end it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
that too.
we need a Doki Doki Literature Club board game. Very hard. That's gonna be
Wow.
at least a mature rating. So very difficult. Regardless, thank you so much for watching our Q&A. Thank you so much for asking your questions. And maybe you got to know a little bit more about Josh and me through our interactions. If you have any more questions, put them in the comment section down below. Not in chat, put them in the comment section down below. And we'll see you 2 weeks from now when we do another live stream. Hopefully, it'll be something really interesting and maybe we announce something. Maybe it's PTO. Who knows? Regardless, we'll see. Regardless, that is me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as Mechanic Critic, and with me has been the ever amazing, ever wonderful project manager of Level 99 Games himself,
Josh, also known as Ithri. Happy gaming.
Happy gaming, folks. Bye.